In a previous video, I gave an overview of how I picked up my car and used a supercharger for the first time. In this video, I'll go into more detail on getting the keys, pairing the phone to the car to use as a key, and inspecting the car for any sort of defects, and charging at a supercharger, and then driving home. As we approached the building where you go to register for your car, we actually saw our car right next to it. So we went and had a look at the outside of the car, and we saw some scratches, unfortunately. So we went to the registration area, and there was only two couples in front of us, so we waited for just 5 minutes. There were two members of Tesla staff at computers, just registering people and talking people through the onboarding process. So we just had to wait for 5 minutes, and then we got seen. And I explained to the lady that we had seen the car and there were scratches in 3 places. So she was very good. She said, "Don't worry, we will, as in Tesla, will fix any defects which obviously shouldn't be there." So she came to the car with us and gave us 2 keys. This is what a Tesla key looks like. So it's really a backup system. There's no text on here to say what to identify your car at all. It's just a generic key fob. You actually use your phone as a key. So we went to the car and I showed the lady the 3 paint issues that I could see, and she acknowledged that there were definitely defects. So here on the rear left wheel arch, you see lots of scratches along here. The boot lid has some scratches here. It might not show on the camera. There's a long one here and some over here as well. The right rear wheel arch has a chip here. So again, she said, "Don't worry, we'll just raise a service request and we'll take it to the service centre in Milton Keynes, where I live, and it'll all be sorted, free of charge, obviously." Someone on site did try to machine polish out the scratches on the boot because they weren't too deep, which it did, and the scratches were less visible, but they were still slightly visible. So I still wanted those to be repaired at a service centre. The rest of the outside of the car looked okay, as it should. We then sat inside the car and had a look around at everything, and that was all okay. Had no other issues with the car. We then tried to pair our mobile phones, so both my phone and my wife's phone, to the car to use as keys, and it just didn't work. So that's issue number 2. So what we had to do is, the member of staff who's with us, she had a look and hadn't seen this issue before. She called over another member of staff who hadn't seen the issue before either. So what they actually ended up doing is, one of them went back to the hut where we registered, and on their computer I think they set the car to like a handed over mode, so it's been handed over to the customer, and within a couple of minutes everything just started working again. We were able to pair our phones to the car in order to use phones as keys. And then one of the Tesla employees, she used my phone to try to book a service with Milton Keynes. So the way you do that is, on the app you go to the service section, you choose exterior, and then you type in a description of the issues, and you can take some photographs, and then you choose your service centre location. Unfortunately, the Milton Keynes Centre location wasn't listed, and she said it might be because they were too fully booked up over the next week or 2, and she advised that I don't book an issue now. I instead, on the next week, so this was a Saturday, she said it's closed on Sunday, so on Monday or sometime next week I should phone up and book a service with the Milton Keynes branch. So at this point, we had paired our phones to the car. We knew the 3 issues with paint, and actually the lady said that if we found any issues, any other issues within the next week, no problem, just raise a service incident with Tesla and they get it sorted. She just said next week. She didn't put a mileage restriction on there, so that's good. So the car came with about 40% battery charge. So we decided to go to a local supercharger. So we used the car sat nav to go to Park Royale. The advantage of doing that, 2 advantages: A, you find it, and B, it preconditions the car's battery. So when you actually arrive at the supercharger, it will be nice and warm, so you get actually a faster charge. It's more efficient. It was my first time charging using a supercharger, so it's a very easy experience. You just back up the charging stall, and the superchargers have 2 cables. The top one is the one you want. It's a faster one, so you use that on your Model 3. You just unplug it, put it into the charging port of the Tesla, and that's it. You don't need to make any payments with a card, because the Tesla Supercharger network, the superchargers talk to the car and they identify each other. So the Tesla Supercharger was able to identify my car as belonging to me. Within my Tesla account, I've got my card details in there. So the supercharger charges the car, which will in fact charge me money, and it will just go off my payment card automatically. It's all quite transparent, all happens in the background. I don't have to press any buttons or anything. All you do is plug in the cable into the car. Nice and easy. I actually had, I do have 1,000 free miles because I used my friend's code when I bought the Tesla. Unfortunately, that is, that they've recently scrapped that referral scheme. It might come back in the future, who knows. But for me, I got a free charge, so that was good. And once you start charging, either on a supercharger or any charger, the Tesla screen inside your car, it shows your rate of charge and what you're going to charge up to. So you might want to set your charge limit to 80% or 85%, 90%, or whatever you want. They say between 80% and 100% takes the longest amount of time. So usually, on a supercharger, usually you want to charge up to 80%. So that's kind of what we did. I think we actually left a bit earlier. We were only there for 20 minutes and then we drove home with plenty of charge. One interesting thing at the superchargers was the person next to me had also just bought a car and taken it there to charge. The car he was supposed to have had a dent in the door, so he refused to pick up the car, and Tesla actually had another car available to provide him, so that was lucky. So we drove home and it's nice. First time driving a Tesla, other than the initial test drive we did. Played about the lane holding and cruise control, both were pretty good. The following Wednesday, I tried to book my car into the Milton Keynes Service Station to get repaired for the 3 paint issues. So I was able to load up the Tesla app, select service, enter the text to describe the issue, submit photographs. But when it came to entering my address, I typed in Milton Keynes and I got an error, which was just a connection failed error. I tried, there's an option to choose the current location, so I clicked on there, same issue. I tried actually a number of different locations, but I just got the same connection failed error. So I ended up phoning Tesla. There's a generic phone number you can call for any issues. So I phoned Tesla and I got through to someone who was very helpful. She raised a service incident for me, and once she raised it on my behalf, I then saw it in the app and I was able to edit it. So I was able to select the photographs, and upload photographs and enter text, and she had entered the Milton Keynes Service Centre for me, so that was okay. And also entered the date, which was the 11th of October. So overall, the experience of picking up the car was a good one. I just had 3 issues. Number 1 was the paint defects on 3 panels of the car. The second issue was pairing our phones to the car. And the third issue was trying to get the car booked in for a service. In my next video, I'll take you through the whole process of getting your car booked in for service and taking the car there, getting a courtesy car, and the actual results of the paint finish. So if you'd like to see that, please subscribe and you'll see it. And thank you for watching.